Major League Baseball action continues early in the season as teams across the league begin settling into their identities. With just the first few weeks of play in the books, lineups are starting to click, rotations are settling in, and some clubs are beginning to reveal trends that could shape the months ahead. While it's still early in the season, every series is already carrying added importance as each team looks to establish consistency, find their rhythm, and build momentum going forward. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm your host, Gina Scarpa, alongside Sawyer, Bogaty, and Jonas, Epstein, and we have a look at what's developing around Major League Baseball. So guys, now that we've seen the first couple weeks of baseball, we're getting a clearer picture of where some teams are standing early on. So I want to know what you guys have seen and who's really looking as legitimate contenders right out of the gate and who's struggling with early season struggles.
I'd be remiss not to talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers. They do have the best record in baseball. As unfortunate as it may be, the God Squad is really coming through. But I guess it's kind of ironic that their best hitter is Andy Paz, who nobody would kind of label as one of those God Squad players, but he's having a great year. I also think we should talk about the Athletics. Nick Kurtz, Jacob Wilson, that rotation has really started to come around. Luis Severino actually hasn't looked horrible, which is kind of a surprise. And I really like the way the A's are heading. I just hope they kind of keep their core, because a lot of the times with these smaller market teams, although I guess since they're moving to Vegas, that market is expanding. They're in Sacramento right now. But a lot of times with these smaller market teams, they sell off and they don't really maintain that core at all. But I hope they do. And then the Atlanta Braves are back, I guess you can say, after missing out on the playoffs last year, had a lot of injuries. They're finally healthy. Drake Baldwin has looked great, their new catcher. We'll talk about him in a little bit as one of those rising players. But I really like the way the Braves are headed, and in a kind of weak NL East, as it might seem, with the Phillies falling off and the Mets being the Mets. We'll see what happens, but I like the Braves in the NL East right now.
Yeah, I got to read up on that Dodgers thing. It is so annoying, especially as a Mets fan. Edwin Diaz just looks like Edwin Diaz. He is pitching phenomenally, which is really annoying. Tommy Edman, as you stated, he's batting over 400 with 17 RBIs through 15 games. Is he better than Shohei? He's not, but he's looking really, really good. On top of that, there are some teams that you'd like to see do better. The Orioles are the other on top of that weak AL East, but I know he just hit a home run tonight, actually, but Pete Alonso, his bat speed has fallen off a cliff. He is not hitting well. He was batting 190. I think he was 2 for 3 today, so it's going to go up a little bit. But Gunnar Henderson, he's carrying right now 6 home runs, leads the AL, tied for the lead. Another team that I think really needs to improve is the Red Sox. I love their offseason. I love their additions. Suarez, you bring in a guy like Sonny Gray, an older veteran pitcher. They've really had opportunities to be good, but they're not finding the bat. They're losing a lot. It's not good.
Yeah, and Garrett Crochet had a disaster of a night tonight. 10 earned runs in only an inning and 2/3. So that was kind of wild to see, but I don't know. I agree with your Red Sox pick. They had a great offseason just to kind of fall off at the start. But again, it's still April. And I think that's the silver lining of everything is it's still April and there's plenty of time.
I mean, yeah, you guys really said it all. The Dodgers are back like they never left. They're hungry, looking for, I don't know, maybe a three-peat, but I hope not. But the A's, you touched on it, they have been so good, and I don't think anyone expected it. I didn't. They're coming off of 3 consecutive series wins. They swept the Mets or the Astros?
Mets.
The Mets. They swept the Mets. And they
Mets.
won their series against the Astros and the Yankees. And then, like you said, with the Red Sox, I was going to say about Crochet, but they really have been also struggling alongside this really weak AL East, which is normally a bloodbath. But all of these teams seem to be struggling. And 2 teams that we already touched on, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets, are among those teams who are struggling, even though they looked promising early on, but have really fallen off. So I'm curious to know, what have you guys seen from these 2 teams so far?
Well, there's a lot of negative, so I'm going to do us all a favor and start with a little bit of positive. So one of my favorite guys, I love the trade when we brought him in, Luis Robert. He has been phenomenal. A true change of scenery, can turn your life around kind of guy. He is batting 300. He's got 12 walks. He's not striking out like he used to. He's really doing phenomenal. It's insane to see. Francisco Alvarez, his power might actually be back. He's batting 300, and he had a 2 home run game earlier in the season. He's doing amazing. And one contract, which I love from 2024, even though we brought in Juan Soto, is Clay Holmes. Oh my goodness. $15 million a year, and he's going deeper in games than any of our other pitchers. He is pitching to a 1.7 ERA right now. He's doing phenomenal. He has a start coming up in a couple of days. against the Dodgers, which is going to suck, but whatever. And also, of course, Nolan McLean. He is just as good as he was last year. If you want to see some amazing clips, go to Pitching Ninja. He has crazy overlays, the sweeper-sinker combo. It is lethal.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Yankees. I don't like talking good about the Yankees, but, you know, I got to be fair. Their starting rotation, their top 3 guys right now are lights out. They're pitching phenomenal. Fried, Schlittler, and Weathers, they're doing amazing. And of course, Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon are coming back in the following months. So, I mean, that pitching rotation has potential to be one of the top ones. Probably not being the Dodgers, in my opinion, but they're going to be up there. It's pretty scary. And of course, Ben Rice, or as they call him in the Bronx, Ben Arose, he is batting .350. He's been one of the best hitters for that team. And even if they get a fraction of that for this season, he's potential to really take that lineup over the top.
Yeah, you really hit it there. I want to talk about some stars for both sides. I want to start with the Yankees. I know he has 2 home runs tonight. I know you're already thinking about saying it, but Aaron Judge is hitting .214, and he's leading the team in strikeouts. Yes, he's hitting for power, and he's still hitting home runs, but he has to cut down the strikeouts, and he has to bring the average up. It's a far cry from his .330 average last year. But for the Mets, it's been the star, and it's Francisco Lindor, and I know people say it's the club has issues, but I want to play this video. It's from the opening series against the Pirates. It's a Juan Soto double, and Lindor was sent on this play, and I want everybody to watch Henry Davis, Pittsburgh's catcher, and where he tags Lindor. It's coming up right here. You see the tag right on the head of Lindor, and you see Lindor kind of stick up, and I want to show this contrast from Tua Tagovailoa in the NFL to Lindor. He has those curled fingers, and I really do think that the Francisco Lindor mental mistakes that he's had, not the hitting. The hitting, he always starts off playing like a minor league baseball player and turns it on in July. It's the mental mistakes in the field, and I believe Francisco Lindor did or still does have a concussion. We talked about it off air about how Anthony Rizzo was out for 6 months with a concussion. I don't think it's as severe because Lindor has shown that he's okay, but I think not. I think there's something going on that is beyond baseball in a sense. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't know for sure.
Right.
I'm not a pre-med major either, but I do think that it goes beyond the field and something is wrong outside of baseball.
I think it's interesting, and if it's only been around 2 weeks since this happened, it is possible he's still dealing with the effects. Like you just said, Anthony Rizzo had a concussion for 6 months, and when players are getting up there in age, it really takes a toll on them. But the Mets offense has struggled, and I think it's a lot to do with their missing Juan Soto because he is injured, and he's a big part of that offensive production. The Yankees also struggling with their offensive production. I mean, no doubt that Aaron Judge is well underperforming like what we've seen. He does have 2 home runs tonight. Hopefully this is the start of a turnaround for him. But the Yankees rotation has really been good. And Garrett Cole and Rodon, like you said, will both be back soon. And I think having them two, and then Max Fried, who is leading the league in quality starts, and Schlittler has looked great. And even Weathers, their only new acquisition in the offseason, has looked really good. So I think that rotation is going to be insane, and they're really, I think arguably it's the best rotation in the league. So we're going to have to see. But now shifting gears, some players have really began to stand out and make an impact for their team. So I want to know who has really stood out to you guys so far.
Yeah, I want to hit on the 2 guys on the right side of this graphic. Jordan Walker leads the league in home runs, is about 2nd or 3rd in OPS. It's obviously fluctuating every night, but he's been really good and kind of a revival for this Cardinals offense, and I really like the trajectory he's heading on. For all my stat nerds out there, he's got a WRC plus of like 214. I saw some tweet come out yesterday or 2 days ago. And then Brandon Nimmo, the former Met, has kind of revived his bat in Texas, hitting like around 360 right now. He's hitting leadoff for the Rangers like he did with New York. But those are the 2 that really stand out to me as 2 guys that have really come through for teams that haven't been as great but are looking to get better.
No, I got to start with somebody, if you know me, I hate the Dodgers, obviously, but that means I love the Padres because they also hate the Dodgers as much as I do. So I got to talk about one of the best pitchers in baseball right now in Mason Miller. He has been electric. Obviously, the last couple of years, you know him for his 104-mile-per-hour fastball and wicked slider. But this year, it's been next level. He struck out 11 straight, coming near to a record. And there's even talks of him being in the Cy Young conversation, which would be the first time since Eric Gagne in 2003. He is up there with some of the greatest. And even people are saying he should be a starter. I know he doesn't want to do that, but it would be kind of crazy to see him go for 6-7 innings. You know, it'd be really awesome. Another guy I got to talk about is Sandy Alcantara. He, in his second start, threw a complete game shutout. And not only that, it was a Maddox. He did it under 100 pitches. He has revived his career so far this season, and he's just been unreal, pitching to a 2.67 ERA.
Yeah.
He is unreal. And another guy, you want to talk about winning games for your team? Joe Adele. It doesn't get more representative than that. 1-run game. 1-0 they won. He robbed not one, not two, but 3 home runs in right field. One in the bottom of the 9th, in which he went into the stands after catching it. I mean, that's just an example of winning a game for your team defensively. It's probably the greatest defensive performance I've seen from a player ever.
Yeah.
I mean, robbing 1 home run is insanely impressive, but robbing 3 in the same game is just ridiculous. So it's going to be interesting to see how these stars continue to break out throughout the season. Through the first few weeks of the Major League Baseball season, the early picture around the league is starting to come into focus. Several teams have emerged as early standouts, while surprising performers continue to make their mark. Some teams are still working to find consistency, but in a 162-game season, there is plenty of time for these storylines to evolve. For Sawyer, Bogaty, and Jonas Epstein, I'm Gina Scarpa. Thank you for tuning in to Penn State Sports Night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.